2025 Automotive Industry Malaysia sales volume by brand. Let's go, man. Let's see who's the biggest winner, who's the biggest loser of 2025. All right, let's start with the homeboys, Produa and Proton. Produa and Proton, I guess it's okay news, it's good news. Produa has seen an increment of 0.5% up to 359,904 units of car sold in 2025. Proton, a little bit better, up 2.7%, selling 151,561 units. And let's look at the Japanese boys. The Japanese boys, traditionally, you have Toyota, Honda, Mitsubishi, and Nissan and Mazda on this list. It is overall, with the exception of Toyota, it's all bad news. Toyota is quite resilient. You can see that their sales over the years have stayed relatively similar. 2023, 131,000 units. 2024 dropped a little bit, 127,000 units. This year, it gone back up a little bit, 129,000. Now, mind you, Toyota has a very strong grey import scene in this country. And because of that, this number 129,085 is not entirely representative of sales made by Toyota Malaysia. A good chunk of this is actually parallel imports, specifically the Toyota Alphard and Velfire. As such, I can't say if you remove the grey import whether Toyota Malaysia's number has gone up or gone down, but they seem to stay relatively stable and resilient. But for the rest of the Japanese boys, the news is quite severe. Honda Malaysia. Honda down 11.4% to 75,599 units. This is quite severe. 11% sales drop is quite serious. Mitsubishi is 14.4% drop, down to 13,856. This is the third year in a row Mitsubishi is dropping. Mazda, whoa, this is serious stuff, man. 35.2% drop, down to 9,589 units. This is again third year drop. From 23 to 24 is already a very severe drop, and again in 25 is a very severe drop. This is serious stuff, man. Now, Nissan. Now, I can't for the life of me find Nissan's data anywhere. Based on a few months report, I estimate their sales to be somewhere between 4,000 to 6,000 units. At the highest end, it's still a drop. At the lowest end, it's a lot of drop. From the looks of it, it's pretty much a confirmed drop. The only question is percentage for Nissan. So for the Japanese boys, with the exception of Toyota that is resilient, the rest of them are experiencing catastrophic drop in sales. Mind that word, catastrophic. If your business dropped by 20 to 30%, you will go bankrupt in a matter of years. Now, let's talk about the German boys. For the Germans, I've only concentrated on two because out of all the German brands, only these two has considerable numbers in this country. Mercedes-Benz down 24.4% to 8,976 units. This is again a third year drop. Not as severe as last year's drop, but quite serious. Now, mind you, again, Mercedes-Benz is one of those brands that has a considerable recon or parallel import scene. As such, you cannot take this number as 100% representative of the performance of Mercedes-Benz Malaysia. But needless to say, it doesn't look good. Now, BMW. Now, BMW also experienced a severe drop, 23.2% drop to 7,873 units. Again, this is a third year in a row consecutive drop of very similar percentage. So what we're looking at here is the Germans are in deep crisis territory. 3 consecutive years of drop. It's not looking good. Now let's move to the Chinese players. The Chinese players currently represented on this list is Chery and BYD. These two has overwhelming representation in terms of sales. Of course, there are other brands as well. For example, GWM is doing very, very well, but for the life of me, I cannot find the total sales number. I can only find H6 registered amount in 2025. So I did not put them in the list here, but let's look at the Chinese on the list. Number one is Chery. Chery has sold Total of 31,666 units, up 60.8%. Now, of course, 2023, this is a consecutive third year up. They've gone from 4,400 units to almost 20,000 units, now 31,000 units. It's a very steep upwards trajectory. Of course, they are getting into territory of the big boys in Malaysia. Next one is BYD. BYD sold a grand total of 14,407 cars in 2025, up 68%. Again, this is a third year consecutive up. For a pure BEV brand, this is mighty impressive. Now, of course, for BYD being a pure BEV brand, there is going to be a glass ceiling for how well they can do in this country. Coming 2026 and 27, I foresee the battle to really pick up paces in PHEV spaces. And PHEV spaces, you see a lot of movement. You see Proton moving. I'm sure BYD is moving as well. And if BYD starts getting into CKD PHEV room, then we are going to see exponential growth of BYD in this country. So conclusion for 2025, I noticed two trends. Number one is that we are tracing what is happening in China about 2 years to 3 years behind. For German and Japanese car companies in this country, if you want to see the direction of the trend in Malaysia in 2026 and 27, you can look at what happened in China in 22 and 23. Of all the brands, all of them suffer catastrophic slide in market share in China. I'm not talking about just Germans, I'm also talking about Japanese. The only exception is Toyota. From 23 to 24, they suffered a 7% drop in China, but they rebounded in 24 to 25, albeit weakly. But mind you, this is mostly due to rebadging Chinese BEV. Now, some people don't like, Toyota hardcore fans don't like to hear the word rebadging. How about this? Joint venture with 90% of the work done by either GAC or FAW. So there seems to be a stronger survivability that I notice in Toyota. But for Honda, it's a 30% drop from 23 to 24. It's a 23% drop from 24 to 25. This is catastrophic. The same story applies to the Germans as well. Mercedes-Benz, 23 to 24, 7% drop. 24 to 25, 27% drop. BMW 23 to 24, 13% drop. 24 to 25, 17% drop. So what you're seeing here is that the Germans are in deep crisis territory. The Japanese are going to join the Germans very, very soon based on the developments in geopolitics, especially in the past month. In fact, Japanese cars cost is going to skyrocket very, very soon. Now, for a Malaysia distributor, there's nothing much you can do. This is macroeconomics and geopolitics. What you can do is be a bit more honest with your pricing. You cannot halt the changing winds, but you may be able to find some solace in some sheltered markets like Malaysia. Now, the second thing I noticed from this is ICE car sales is going to continue to slide, and I say slide hard, very hard. BEV has reached 44,000 units this year, 5.2% of our market. And mind you, the hottest selling model or the hottest booking model, the numbers are completely not taken into account yet, which is the EMAS 5. EMAS 5 booking of 10,000 units, none of them are actually calculated here. I foresee that Malaysia BEV will plateau off at somewhere around 7 to 8% of the market if nothing changes. So for example, there is no new incentive and the fuel price remain as low as it was. However, like I said just now, 2026 is going to be the battle of PHEV here. And the biggest and the strongest and the titan of the PHEV world are the Chinese. At current trajectory, if nothing changes, what we're going to see is going into 2030, somewhere between 15 to 20% of vehicles in this country will be NEV, either BEV or PHEV. So 2026, battle for PHEV, increasing costs for Japanese makers and German makers, and continue onslaught of Chinese in BEV and PHEV areas.